This is the electric car I've been looking forward to driving for some time. This is a brand you might not have heard of before called Ora, who live under the umbrella of a large Chinese company called Great Wall Motors. In the UK, we've only really had a pickup truck that farmers like, made by those. This is a very different beast. Slightly retro, but very futuristic as well. We're going to be driving it in the amazing sunshine of Solihull. It's the Ora Funky Cat. I'm Jonny Smith. Welcome to the Late Break Show. Now, if you've been following my channel from the start, you will have seen that last year I did a static walk around, a first look, if you will, of the Ora Funky Cat when it was just called the Ora Cat, actually. I will put a link for that above my head because I wasn't allowed to drive it, and that is more detailed. In the meantime, we'll just do a quick recap of the aesthetics. Go. Front end. Looks a little bit Porsche. There's a reason for that. It was actually designed by an ex-Porsche designer. These ring running lights are very neat. The car's actually on because the key's in it at the moment, and it's got these creases down the bonnet, which I referenced in another car last time. Looks like the Cayman, Porsche Cayman or something like that, I think. Has the same alloy wheels. They're 18s as standard. This is where the charger door is in the front wing. Now, 100 kilowatts rapid chargeability. They quote a 15 to 80% charge stats, not sure why, but anyway, 42 minutes at 100 kilowatts on CCS, but it'll also do slower charges, 11 kilowatts, 3 hours, 12 minutes, 6.6 kilowatts, which is your home wall box, 5 hours, 24 minutes. Oh, the size of the battery is, as it was, 48 kilowatt hours. I need to say that the first Ora Funky Cats in the UK, the first ones, the only ones you can order right now, are the first edition cars. There's no difference in performance, range, anything like that. It's still 193 miles, so nearly 200 mile range car. Battery is the same, performance is the same, 8.3 seconds to 62. But you can get it in different colours, 4 different colours. Nebula green, Aurora green, which I think this one is, a red and a black. You pay a bit extra for two-tone, and you can pay a bit extra for two-tone inside. There's a plaque and there's a special key, which I'm going to show you now. Now, I'm a bit funny about things like keys because I've driven a lot of expensive premium cars as a journalist. Sometimes an expensive car has a cheap feeling key, and the key's the thing you grab every single day. This key feels really special and heavy and substantial. And it's got coloured stripes on it and everything. This is the first edition key because it says so. It says it there. It's first edition. Whenever I first get in a car to review, cold as it were, always trying to find my feet with where everything is and whether it feels like it's up together. The small touches have already rubbed off on me in a positive way. This sort of soft touch indicator where you can just knock it up and it does a 3 indication. The feel of the steering wheel, the thinness of the steering wheel is lovely. And it does feel like, because that centre console's really low here, it feels more open. The dash is not intrusive, it's tucked well back. It's hard to explain really, but it just feels like your knees are a long way from anything. Kind of like a Hyundai Ioniq 5-way. It's one of the reasons why I like that car so much. And you've got a stalk for the cruise control, like days of old, rather than it being all on the steering wheel, which I quite like. I think I've immediately gone the wrong way. So what does the Funky Cat compete with? The Funky Cat? Well, really, I think it's kind of like, you've got things like the MG4, which is a really promising proposition from another Chinese manufacturer. I'll put the review above my head of that. That was highly successful. I think a lot of people are chomping at the bit for that. But then because of the sort of retro style of it, it's very style and character led. There's things like the Fiat 500e, of which the long range does 199 miles on a charge, which is about the same as this. And then you've got the Honda E, which is an incredible car in terms of design and technology, but obviously short range, very much a kind of short journey car really. Then you've got Peugeot E208, Corsa E, those sort of Stellantis offerings. So it kind of sits in amongst all of that really. Because the government incentive has been taken away from prices of all cars have gone up, but prices of electric cars do seem to be a little higher, which is why this is sort of 31, 32 grand starting with. Now I'm wondering, because I was really excited when I did the walk around of this, I just thought the design was quite fresh. You can see they plucked a few inspirations from lots of different manufacturers, but at the same time just kind of had something about it. In fact, my daughter watched the walk round video that I did of the Ora Cat, because I told her there was a name of a car called a cat, and her name's Kitty. She now doesn't stop talking about the fact that she wants an Ora Cat for her first car. I've put the dimensions of the Funky Cat above here. It's got a wheelbase of 2,650mm. I will also put the dimensions above of its direct competitors, but it's not small, it's not Fiat 500 small, and it's not as big, I don't think, as a Nissan Leaf. It does look a little bit leafy back here though, and I might have said that in the previous walk round. I don't know if it's me and maybe Chinese manufactured cars, but they do look like a bit of height between tyre and arch. A little bit of height, maybe like a cat going for a territorial waz against a wall, I don't know. I wish it was a bit lower. See, there's a car in front. Again, I've reviewed that, the BMW iX, the new, very radical EV. The thing about that car is it's a huge car and it's not massively roomy. It's also sinfully ugly, I think. This is a cheerful, chirpy, not trying to be aggressive looking, not trying to be pretentious. I like that. The world needs more happy, chirpy, brightly coloured cars. Or Ora green with a white roof. So we are coming more into its environment now. We're heading into town/city life. I've got one pedal driving on. Feels great. It's more my thing. But yeah, you've got 4 levels of regen braking to choose from, really, to harvest that power back. God, the world of entry-level electric cars for medium-sized families and stuff like that, and small families is immense. We're almost getting spoilt for choice, aren't we? You look at what this comes with as standard. It comes with an enormous amount of luxury and technology, way more than one would need. See, some people are going to like this because it's different and it gets people talking and people are curious. Curiosity killed the cat about what this thing is, what this new car is. They'll look at the logo and go, I'm not familiar with that. Other people will avoid it like the plague because it's not a familiar brand. What sort of person are you? I am pleased to say that this is pure leatherette, this interior, and I'm not being sarcastic when I say it feels really supple and warm and pleasant. Just the shapes of the upholstery, like that rounded armrest there with a double seam. I don't know, there is attention to detail here. There's attention to detail here which I think some of the older manufacturers, the legacy manufacturers, are kind of missing out on. Or maybe they can't afford to do it. I'm looking at the reflection of the Funky Cat. I don't know about the name Funky, but hey. And it's the car that the Nissan Leaf should have looked like. The Nissan Leaf is a good car in many ways. It's just never looked interesting or attractive. At least this is interesting. And there's a Fiat 500. Okay. And I think in terms of design and where it's gunning for, it's definitely trying to get a slice of that pie, isn't it? Steering wheel I can customise these steering wheel buttons. Gosh. I'm not sure I've got the time for all of that. While I'm waiting for this person in a Mercedes to get into a space that possibly doesn't fit, I'll remind you this is a Euro NCAP 5-star rated car, which means it's a safe crasher. So let's have a look at some cats being killed. Now the back of the Cat, Funky Cat, is quite bulbous, and there's no lights where you'd expect to see them. They're down here. And I was trying to think of another car that was a bit like that. And I think it's another group, or part of the IM group as is in the UK. Do you remember Daihatsu? Daihatsu made a car called a Materia, and I'm pretty sure the lights were really low and not here on that. Anyway, when I unlock it, it has this cool little signature light strip here that's integrated into the rear glass. Pop the boot, and it has got like a little roof spoiler there. The boot is a weird shape. It's kind of definitely got some sort of hourglass kind of hips. That is 228 litres of boot, 858 litres with those seats down, which you can 60-40 split with a very token parcel shelf, a bit like a Fiat 500. Actually, I think it's a bit bigger than I was expecting it to be. Ah yeah, you've got a little bit of space down there for some charge cableage. So 171 PS of power, 250-60 Newton meters of torque. It's pleasant. It's very, very pleasant. And that 360 camera is detailed and very high resolution, actually higher resolution than the MG that I drove recently, the MG5 estate, which is about the same price as this from memory, with a much bigger boot, but a much less interesting face. I'm going to go up here. See, look, they stared at it because they didn't know what it was. Hello, Ora.
Yes, I'm here.
Tell me about Warwick.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Hello, Ora.
What's up?
What's the history of this town?
Sorry, I don't know.
Well, that's great. Thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Hello, Ora.
Yes, I'm here.
Who is Donald Trump?
Here is what I found on Wikipedia. Donald John Trump is an American politician, media personality, and businessman who served as the 45th President of the United States from 2017 to 2021. Trump graduated from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania with a bachelor's degree in 1968. Should I continue reading?
No, that's okay, thank you. Cats don't like rain, water, but don't worry, this cat's all right with it. And it has to be, because it's raining all day and we've got to live with it. Inside here though, is really good. I remembered how much I enjoyed the design. It's a real kind of mashup of high-end Fiat 500 with numerous other cars that I can't quite put my finger on, but I think the designer of the Funky Cat's cabin is pleasant. Toggles, very reminiscent of the BMW Mini, I feel. The infotainment is two screens, as you can see, but it's wrapped up into one neat piece that's set into the dash. It's not sort of bolted onto the dash like so many of them are. And I'll come on to this, the nitty-gritty of the infotainment in a minute. But what you need to know is all Funky Cats have got this similar style. This quilting here and this dash top, which is kind of a faux suede, is different colours depending on what exterior colour of the car you've optioned it with. This light kind of, it's not cream, it's more beige plastics here. The quality is not great, but it's not actually that much worse than a Volkswagen type car that I've seen recently. So, I mean, this is a £31,000 car, okay? 8-year battery warranty, 5-year unlimited mileage warranty for the rest of the car, and like a 12-year anti-corrosion warranty. But sitting in here, the roof's quite high. There's loads of headroom at the front, and I'm sure it is at the back because it looks like it is, and I'll sit in that in a minute. 5-seat car. And the centre console here, it feels like a little bit of a yacht deck with the knurled wheel here. And the main difference from the pre-production car that I did a walk round, this now has a button to push for park. You get in the car and it's already on. So it's already on, I haven't had to touch it or anything, and I just have to select that with my foot on the brake and then I'm off. One thing I've noticed, listen, if it's on and I go to open the door, listen. It's the beginning of Bat Out of Hell by Meatloaf. Let me do that again. Ready? It's that. Before we delve into the Funky Cat's infotainment system, which I think is very easy to use, which pleases me because I have to review these things without really reading all the instructions, I must mention it also has an Ora app. And the Ora app allows you to do usual things like check the status of your charge, preheat, pre-cool the car, unlock it, relock it, etc, etc. 360 camera at the moment is showing the weird little car park that we're in right now, and that's an umbrella. But right, let's go into, right, yeah, so if I double tap, first thing I'd say is there's no physical buttons up here or here. There's these toggles which I mentioned earlier, which are air conditioning and heated front and rear screens, and obviously hazard warning lights. But up here, that's your home screen button, and these are your other little buttons to bring up different tiles. They're actually quite a long way from the driver, unless it's just the fact that I like to sit a long way back because I've got long limbs, but they are quite a long way back. For passengers, they're even further, yeah. But when you get into it, what you've got is a couple of different things. So let's press the vehicle first of all, because this encompasses a lot of the safety of the Funky Cat. Low speed AEB, autonomous emergency braking. You can switch it on or off. Automatic blind spot camera, you can turn it off. That 360 camera, you can exit it at different speeds. I mean, it really is quite precise. Go up here. In car, distraction monitoring, fatigue monitoring, dangerous behaviour monitoring. You can switch all these things on and off. VMDR, biometric identification. I didn't know what this was. I've just asked Ora. I believe it's when you lock the car and walk away. If you've left a child or a pet in the car, it will know there's movement in here, and it will send you a message on the app to say, I think there's a human or a dog in the car. All this stuff here is monitored by that. That is a driver monitoring system. That monitors your face. It's facial recognition. And obviously left-hand drive car, it's over there. But when I get in, if I have preset the car how I want it to be, it knows it's me. So when I get in, it'll immediately go, oh, Johnny quite likes 18 degrees Celsius cabin heating. He really likes it in sports steering mode, and he really likes to listen to BBC Six music. That's what it'll do. Or you can talk to the car. Yeah. Hello, Ora.
I'm listening.
Ora, can you put the driver's window down?
Okay, open.
I mean, the technology actually seems to work. Ora, can you please put the driver's window up? Maybe it doesn't. Hello, Ora.
I'm listening.
Can you please put the driver's window up?
Closing driveway area.
Now, I always struggle with this sort of technology because, I mean, the button's there. Why would I need to go through all that rigmarole? But I'm sure it has its use. It's like, hello, Ora.
Yes, I'm here.
What is the weather like today?
Today in Monk's Bath looks like it will be cloudy with a high of 13 and low of 10 degrees.
84% of rainfall, accurate. So it does have its uses, and apparently you can even play a quiz with it. Hello, Ora.
What's up?
Can we play a geo quiz?
Welcome to Geo Quiz. 10 geographical questions coming right up. Ready? Let's go.
Okay.
Question 1. Stockholm is the capital of which country?
Sweden.
Let me think about it. Yes, it's correct.
Didn't need to think about that. In the back of the Cat, nearly a flat floor car, and it feels very open here and spacious, probably because that centre console there is quite slim, doesn't intrude. One USB there. And also it's a 5-seat, so 3 across. Nice chunky premium feeling armrest and quite bulbous headrest. They feel substantial, which on a lot of small cars you don't often see, I don't think. Again, lots of stitching, cross stitch. And if I sit in, I have adjusted this exactly for my driving posture. I'm 6'3". I always sit behind myself, as it were. And I've got loads of knee room. Thighs are a bit off the floor because a battery car obviously has batteries built into the floor. Loads of headspace, like loads. It's really, really dug out in here. And that back window I was expecting to look like a letterbox, but it doesn't. Got door wells for, I don't know, probably couldn't get a big flask in there, but there are old school mat pockets. I don't know, I just think this is very spacious. It feels premium, actually. More premium than I was expecting. And this is the production ready car. This is not pre-prod like the one I walked around. Promising. Cat of promise. There's so much choice with this car in terms of how much safety you want, how much tech you want, and when it's not needed it just disappears. And I like the fact that none of this is too intrusive. Quite monochrome actually, quite kind of subtle. I've noticed a couple of Mini 1s, and definitely those headlights, they're Mini 1 headlights in this thing, aren't they? There's a couple of other cats. Influences on the cat that I've noticed. Now viewers, I've done a bit of motorway-ish A road, I've done a bit of town, it's now time for a back lane. I'm going to stick it in a bit of sport mode, and I've got it in, I want to put it in single pedal driving, yeah there we go, one pedal driving. I want to see what it feels like, because obviously it's definitely loud over 60 miles an hour, below that for town and kind of 50 miles an hour less. Really good. Brakes are keen. Turn in. Oh, a little bit. Whoa, okay. Sport mode. It's slippery today. These B roads are really nice actually. They're really enjoyable. This car corners better than I was expecting it to. The front end is probably not quite as tight and grippy, probably not quite as taut a chassis like the MG4 which I drove recently, but it's good. And when you go back on the power in sport mode you can definitely feel, although I haven't turned off the ESC and I could do, it's lighting up one of the inside wheels on the exit in the corner. So because I've got it on low intervention, it doesn't shout at me too much, it just chimes here and there to say, oh, I've just brought you in a bit and I've just helped you out here. I like that. I don't like it when cars try and talk to you too much. I'm going to do a 0 to 62. 3, 2, 1. There. So that's 8.3 seconds, which, you know, like all EVs, it's actually the 0 to 30, 40 miles an hour that feels the most exciting, and the one that you will use most of all, because 0 to 30 you'll play with that in town a bit more, won't you? Now these roads are quite challenging because there's some undulations, there's some complex cambers going on, and even in the damp, and it is greasy, this feels pretty good. 215, 50, 18 tyres. I'm into this. I think this is alright. Only when you have to go in for a very tight, low speed corner, which you come on the power, I'll do it in a minute, there's a corner coming up here, then you'll get a bit of scrabble with that kind of EV instant torque not being able to be put down. I'm pleased with the Funky Cat. It's good in town, a little bit loud on the motorway, but comfortable, and actually fun. Fun cat. Cat fun. Sporty cat. Performance cat. Here we go, right, so 60 miles an hour, down on the brakes quite hard, right hand turn, little bit damp, on the power, and oh yeah. You see, the stability control is trying to grab me. Do you know what I've noticed? Because when I do these reviews, I do a combination of sort of sensible driving and of course I've got to explore all the functions. It's actually been pretty efficient with the electricity usage, especially when you've got it on one pedal driving because it's telling me all the time how many kilowatts I'm bringing back into the battery pack. Nobody cares about top speed of cars anymore. It's 99 miles an hour. I've been in this for several hours. I'm very much enjoying the comfort. I'm enjoying the fact that it is a little bit, look, it is a little bit entertaining if you want it to be. These sorts of products are really impressive. The EVs that are coming out of China, the amount of kit, the effort that goes into the textiles, the luxury, it's really impressive, I have to say. Now Ora, the brand Ora, only makes electric cars, nothing else. All of their products are going to be electric. They make some awesome domestic market only stuff. There's a tiny little thing that they make that looks like a Honda N-Box, if you've ever heard of one of those. Yeah, that regen braking's working really hard. When you got it on one pedal, you can hear it. Now, the little rotary control, while I'm turning around in a lay-by, what I will say is sometimes it doesn't quite respond as quickly as I'd like it to. You've got to kind of keep rotating it. But the feel of it, again, it feels expensive to the touch, and these feel expensive to the touch. And that's really crucial, because a lot of more expensive cars that I've driven in the last few years haven't had that tactile touch on all the controls, which you use a lot, like these, like this, like this. Yeah, that's not very nice though. But you can't have it all. Meteorologically speaking, it's been a very dull day. But it hasn't been a dull day when it comes to this, the Funky Cat. I've been pleasantly surprised. I was just as impressed driving it as I was when I did a first walk round some 12 months ago. And I'm really glad, because I've thought, I hope it doesn't let me down. This car has got so much about it. It's a cheeky little character, and its looks will be divisive, I know, but it's just interesting to me, and it feels genuinely special inside. The level of safety and luxury is high. It's fun in town. It's great fun on the back roads, actually. I'm really quite taken by the cat. So, and I like cats. I'm actually a cat man. I don't own a dog, but I do have cats. It's not relevant to the verdict, I know. So the cat gets a big thumbs up for me. A couple of things I don't like. I still don't like the alloy wheels. They look dated already, and I don't like the badging on the back. It looks like generic badging taken from a local motor factor. But these are small issues I've got with this car. Hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Late Break Show. Would you have one of these over its competitors? I'd love to know in the comments. Subscribe if you haven't already. Maybe you'd like to support us via Patreon. You usually get earlier access to videos like this and blogs from me several times a week. Maybe you want to go and visit our merch shop. There's a Late Break Show merch shop. There's a link in the description below. It is really miserable out here, so I'm going to go back inside the cat. I'm going to go and play with the cat. No more cat puns. No, I'm not. And don't call me a pussy. We're not going down that road.